Yeah, let me share my screen now. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to everyone, right? Is that visible?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, thank you. So yesterday we have seen what are the different things that we are going to see in the course. Like we have seen the introductions, like what are the requisites, and we have seen the course content, like what are the different concepts in Jenkins, in Docker, in Kubernetes. We are going to see, as well as we also seen the projects presentation we have given. Like we have did that. Like what are the different projects that we are going to do as part of this course. Like that's all the things we have seen yesterday. Now what we are going to see today is about the introduction parts actually. So what is like these are all the things that we have seen yesterday, and today we are going to see the what is DevOps. Okay, DevOps is a combination of development and operations. Because why we are going to discuss these things is because Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes belongs to DevOps tools, actually belongs to DevOps technology. These are all the rules actually. So that's why DevOps is a combination of development as well as operations. Development means it's not an application development that we call it as an DevOps, but it's an a development of scripts or development of any shell scripts or Python scripts or Groovy scripts, any scripts in order to automate our day-to-day activities. Actually, that is development that we do as part of DevOps. And also people in DevOps need to know the application functionality, how the application functions, okay, to which services it connects to the cloud provider, something like that. That is comes under DevOps. And operations, dev in DevOps, and operations means maintaining the infrastructure, maintain the servers regularly, providing the security patches, and regularly releasing the updated applications to on the servers. So that come under operations. That means maintenance. Maintenance means operations. That is DevOps actually. So development as well as operations. There are many tools in each phase of DevOps. Okay, in the deployment phase, we have Docker and Kubernetes, and in CI/CD phase, we have multiple tools like Jenkins CI, that one, GitLab CI, okay, such kind of things. So there are many tools in case of DevOps. Okay, these are the different tools that we have in case of configuration management, Chef, Puppet, Ansible we have. So these are all the popular tools in case of monitoring, Grafana, and Prometheus we have. So something like that. There are many tools which is combinedly called as DevOps actually. So what is an application? Okay, what is an application is simply but a website. You could already know. Regularly we will be accessing different applications in the YouTube, okay, Amazon.in, okay, Flipkart. Okay, these are all called applications that is created by developers or organizations. So that is an application simply called as website that we are regularly accessing in our in day-to-day activities. So see, what is the SDLC process? In order to develop that application, people in the industry follows SDLC process. There are many processes, agile, SDLC, or different processes are there that already you know. But yeah, as an example, let me tell you, in case of SDLC process, there are 6 phases. Okay, analysis phase. So in the analysis phase, what the people does is they are going to analyze the requirements. Like they are going to collect the requirements, like how many work resources are needed for this in order to develop this application. So how many how many number of servers or systems are needed in order to develop this, in order to deploy this. Such kind of requirements will be collected as part of analysis or the requirement phase in SDLC process actually. The next phase in SDLC process is the design phase. Okay, this there will be a UI UX designers will be there, and there also will be the system design that will be undergone. In this phase, they will be designing the application based on the client requirements, based on the customer requirements. So they will design their application at this design phase. Once the design is completed, then the design will be going to development. Okay, in development phase, developers will be there, and they will be choosing one programming language based on their best practices for their application actually. Suppose let's think they have choose a Java programming language. They will develop their applications, their microservices in the development phase. And in the development phase, people also write test cases, unit test cases we call it, as developers does that for us. Okay, that is unit test cases. They are going to use some frameworks like Mockito, Power Mock, and like that one. Okay, JUnit. So So these frameworks will be used by the developers in the development phase, and they will develop the applications in this development phase. Once the development got completed, then the next phase is testing phase. The developed applications by the developers will be tested in this testing phase. They will perform different types of testing, actually regression testing, performance testing, stress testing. Different types of testings will be there. So they'll perform different types of testing in case of testing phase, actually. So this is where the deployment phase is the important phase for us. This is where our Docker and Kubernetes fits, actually. So deployment phase, where we are going to deploy the applications in the deployment phase on the servers. Actually, we are going to deploy that application on the deployment phase. So the way we are going to deploy our applications is using Docker and Kubernetes in our course. This is where our Docker and Kubernetes fits in the SDLC process, in the deployment phase. Okay, what is the maintenance phase? Maintenance phase is maintaining the applications, like maintaining the servers, maintaining the applications, okay, regularly releasing the software updates and security patches. So like that, the maintenance will be there in the maintenance phase of the developed applications. So these are the 6 phases that followed by the industry in order to develop a particular software, and they will release to production, actually. So that's a SDLC process. The important phase for us for this course is the deployment phase. That is where we are going to use Docker and Kubernetes in order to deploy our applications onto the servers, actually. So that's a deployment phase. Now, what is a server? What is it? Server is kind of a physical entity where we can deploy our application so that everyone in the world can be able to access that application. That is a server. Servers are multiple types, actually. There are 2 types, actually. One is physical server and the virtual server. One is physical server and the virtual server. These are something called physical server. What is physical server, actually? The server which we can touch, we can externally visualize or touch, is called physical server. So in the previous times, when the virtualization is not evolved, people used to deploy their applications on the physical servers. Okay, the developed applications by the developers is used to deploy were being deployed on the physical server. There are many disadvantages that we have if we deploy our applications on the physical servers. Let's list one by one, actually. Suppose, let's think this is a physical server that we have. This is a physical server that we have. People have developed an application and deployed that application on this physical server. This is an application. Okay, let me take this as application app1, actually. Now, this physical server has, let me label it, okay, PHYSICAL server. It has 10 CPUs. Let's think these are the resources. It has the capacity of this physical server is 10 CPUs and 10 GB memory. Okay, 10 CPUs and 10 GB memory is present with this physical server, actually. Suppose my application only require one CPU and 1 GB memory. Okay, my application only require one CPU, 1 GB memory. And what about remaining 9 CPUs? See, out of this 10 CPUs and 10 GB memory, my application is using 1 CPU and 1 GB memory. And what about remaining 9 CPUs and 9 GB memory that is there with this physical server? So this is the first disadvantage that we have if we deploy our applications on the physical server. The first disadvantage of deploying our applications on the physical server is resource wastage, because our application only require 1 GB and 1 CPU, but my physical server is having 10 CPUs and 10 GB, and it is out of that 9 CPUs and 9 GB is free, actually. Okay, that is the resource wastage that we have in case of physical server. Okay, let me put it here. Disadvantages of deploying applications on physical server. Okay, disadvantages of deploying applications on physical server. Let me increase the font size so that you can visualize better. Okay, disadvantage of deploying applications on the physical server. So first disadvantage that we have seen is resource wastage we have seen. You can understand this way. Okay, so the first disadvantage is this one, actually. So such that first disadvantage. Okay, Now, the second disadvantage, if we deploy our applications on the physical servers directly, suppose let's think I have 100 multiple applications to be deployed uh, on the servers. Actually, I have multiple applications to be deployed on the server. In order to deploy multiple applications, I need multiple physical servers. Okay, if I want multiple physical servers, I need to buy that physical servers. So that will be a huge cost for me. So the second disadvantage that we have in case of if we deploy our applications on the physical servers is huge cost. Okay, huge cost is there if we deploy applications on the physical server. That is a second disadvantage that we have. Suppose I had money, I have purchased multiple physical servers. Okay, I need some place, right? I need some place to install multiple physical servers. I need a big room or big data center to install multiple physical servers. I need a separate team to maintain that physical servers. I need air conditioners. I need to pay rent for that space, okay, that is used to install the physical server. So there is a high maintenance for that physical servers if we deploy our applications on the physical servers. Okay, the third disadvantage that we have if we deploy our applications on the physical server is high maintenance. Okay, high maintenance, actually, that is a third disadvantage that we have in case of physical deploying applications on the physical servers. Okay, the fourth disadvantage that we have is, suppose there is a problem with my physical server. The problem has been appeared, and the physical server has been destroyed, or something happened to this physical server and it has been killed. Okay, suppose if there is some problem appears in the physical server, the applications which is deployed on the physical server will not be working. They will not be able to access. The users will be affected. Okay, so that is there is no mechanism in the physical server in order to disaster recovery. If any disaster happens with the physical server, there is no recovery mechanism in case of physical servers. Actually, that is a fourth disadvantage we have if we deploy our applications on the physical server. Okay, no, one sorry, no disaster recovery. Okay, no disaster recovery mechanism, or no high availability. What is high availability? If this physical server or applications deployed on the physical server is destroyed, there is no way a new physical server will come up. Some manual activities need to be done. If we need to create one more physical server, or we need to install one more physical server, and we need to deploy our applications, so there will be no high availability if we deploy our applications on the physical servers. No high availability if you deploy our application on the physical servers. So there are many disadvantages like this if we deploy our applications on the physical servers. Okay, let's stick to this. Let's go to virtualization. Because of these disadvantages that we have with the physical servers, there is industry used a concept called virtualization. What is virtualization? Let me tell you. Let me draw a diagram and tell you. Okay, this is a physical server. On this physical server, there will be an operating system. This is an operating system. Let's think. Okay, this is an operating system, OS. Let me put it as OS. Let me take this. Okay, OS. This is an operating system that will be there on the physical server. On top of this operating system, people have installed something called virtualization software. Okay, what is virtualization software? Let's see in the coming time, actually, today only. But yeah, as of now, what is virtualization software? There are multiple virtualization softwares available in the market. There's a VMware or the VirtualBox, so something like that, hypervisor, Hyper-V. So there are like that many, actually. What the virtualization software does for us, let's see in the further, actually. So they will be installing something called virtualization software, actually. Okay, let me put that one here. Virtualization software. Okay, what this virtualization software will do for us, what this virtualization software will do for us, virtualization software will help us to divide one physical servers into multiple servers. Actually, let me copy this. Okay, virtualization software will help us to divide, one second, yeah. Okay, virtualization softwares will help us to divide one physical server. This is a physical server. Let me label that so that it will be clear. Okay, physical server. Okay, it has 10 CPUs. Okay, let me put it as CPUs and 10 GB memory actually. So that's the thing. Okay, this is a physical server. What is this virtualization software? What is this virtualization software does for us is virtualization software will help us to divide one physical server into multiple servers like this. These are individual servers. Okay, these servers internal virtual servers. Okay, these internal servers are nothing but virtual servers or virtual machines or VMs. Actually, VMs or virtual machines or virtual servers, everything is same. Actually, this is the VMs. Okay, VMs. Okay, so some of you might install VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox in your local machine and created another machine in your local machine. So some of you might did that, right? So in the same way, in the industry also works like that. Your laptop is called physical server. The virtualization software which you installed is VirtualBox. The another machine you created is a virtual machine inside that your laptop actually. So that's how it works in the industry as well. Now, here, my 10 CPUs and 10 GB memory is there with this physical server. Now, each virtual machine inside that physical server will be splitting that resources actually. Let's think this virtual machine has 3 CPUs and 3 GB memory. Let me put that like that. 3 GB memory that is there with this virtual machine one. Actually, let me put like this. Let me copy this from here, Control C, and let me put here as well. And this also has that much. Okay, remaining 1 CPU and 1 GB memory is used by the operating system as well as virtualization software. Let's think like that. Okay, now see here instead of in order to deploy multiple applications, I no need to purchase multiple physical servers actually, because if I deploy application, I can deploy application number one, app one in this virtual machine, app two in this virtual machine, application three in this virtual machine. If I want to deploy multiple applications in case of physical servers, I need to purchase multiple physical servers. But in case of virtualization, in one physical server only, I can deploy multiple applications like this. Okay, this is a app one, app. Okay, app one. This is a application two, app two, and this is a application three. Actually, I no need of purchasing multiple physical servers in order to deploy multiple applications, something like this. Okay, now that will reduce my huge cost. Actually, the disadvantage that we have with the physical server, that is huge cost, is gone in case of virtualization. In case of virtualization, okay, this is called virtualization. Okay, this is called virtualization. Now that's a virtualization. Now, here in case of physical servers, we need to deploy multiple applications, we need multiple physical servers, right? In case of this virtualization, we can deploy multiple applications onto the same physical server, I no need of maintaining multiple physical server, because it is allowing multiple applications to deploy on the same physical server, so that my maintenance will be greatly reduced in case of virtualization. The disadvantage that we have in case of physical server is high maintenance, that is gone in case of virtualization. Okay, this is gone actually. Now, no disaster recovery mechanism. So in the virtual machines, what will be there if any disaster happens? This this all the three servers will be part of auto scaling group, something like this. Okay, will be part of auto scaling group. Let's see in the future, but yeah, let's think something called auto scaling group. Okay, now if any disaster happens or someone manually wanted deleted this physical server and this virtual server, I mean virtual machine, someone wantedly deleted this virtual machine. Here, in case of virtualization, so there is a mechanism to automatically reprovision the server based on the auto scaling group actually. So that kind of mechanism is there with the virtualization actually in case of cloud. So it is not there with the physical server. Some manual activities need to be done in case of physical server, but not in the virtualization side. Actually, automatically new machine will be provisioned without we manually interacting with that actually. So that is the disaster recovery mechanism is there with the virtualization, but not with the physical server actually. So that's a disadvantages that we have with the physical server are gone with the virtualization. The one more disadvantage is left out, that is resource wastage. This is still there in case of virtualization. How it is still there? Let's discuss now actually. Now let me remove this. Now my physical server has 10 CPUs and 10 GB memory. Out of that, each virtual machine has 3 CPUs and 3 GB memory, right? Now, out of this, my application only requires one CPU. Let's think my application only requires one CPU and 1 GB memory. 1 GB memory. Okay, so in all the cases, okay, this application also requires one CPU and 1 GB memory, and this application also requires one CPU and 1 GB memory. What about remaining 2 CPUs and 2 GB memory that is left out with that virtual machine? Without virtual machine, actually 2 CPUs and 2 GB memory is left out with that virtual machine actually. So that's a resource wastage that we still have in case of virtualization. In case of virtualization, okay, let me put it here. 2 CPUs and 2 GB memory. Let me put like this. Okay, this is still there. Resource wastage is still there, that in case of virtualization. The disadvantages that we have in case of virtualization is called the resource wastage. First one is resource wastage. Resource wastage actually. Because of these reasons actually, something called Docker is evolved. Okay, Docker is evolved. There are multiple reasons for the Docker evolution. Let's stick to this. Okay, one of the reason is resource wastage. Other reason is evolution of microservices in the market. Okay, that is the second reason. Let me put it here. Okay, let me put it here. Second one is evolution of micro services in market. Okay, that is a second reason that we have for the Docker evolution. Okay, these are the things with the physical server and the virtual server actually. Now let's see the Docker one. Because of the disadvantages that we have with virtual server, there is a Docker evolution is there. Sorry, let's think. This is the physical server. Let me put this one as physical server. Let me put like this. Okay, okay, this has 10 CPUs. We are going to say the same resources. Resources means CPU and memory. Let's think this has 10 CPUs and 10 GB memory. Okay, now on top of this, as you already know, there will be an operating system that will be installed. This is called a host operating system. Let me put that one here. Is called, let me put operating system, OS. Okay, and there will be a virtualization software that will be installed on top of this OS. It may be any virtualization software. Okay, all does the same for us. One second. This is a VM's virtualization. Virtualization software that will be installed, and on top of this virtualization software we will be having multiple virtual machines. As an example, I am taking only one virtual machine here because you already seen the multiple virtual machine in case of virtualization. Let me take only one virtual machine like this. Okay, there will be multiple virtual machines on top of this virtualization software. This virtual machine has this. Let me take it as virtual machine. Okay, this virtual machine has the same resources like 3 GPUs and 3 GB memory. Let me take it as 3 CPUs and 3 GB memory that is there with this virtual machine actually. Now, because they see on this virtual machine we have this much amount of CPUs and this much amount of memory, and we will be installing something called, there will be an operating system inside this virtual machine as well. This is something called guest operating system, GUEST operating system actually. Let me put like that. Okay. So this is called guest operating system that we have in case of virtual machine actually. On top of this, we are going to install Docker. We actually. Let me put it here. Okay, we are going to install Docker here. What this Docker allows us to do, Docker will be allowing us to create multiple applications on that here. Okay, these are something called containers. In case of Docker terminology, these are something called containers. App 1. Okay, this is application 1, and this is the application 2. Let me take this as application 2. 1 second. App 2, and there's an application 3. Okay, these are something called Docker containers. Let me take this as application 3, app 3, and we have 3 CPUs and 3 GB memory in each virtual machine, right? So let's think this application 1 takes 1 CPU. Just an example, 1 CPU, 1 GB memory, and this application 2 takes 1 CPU and 1 GB memory, and this application 3 also takes 1 CPU and 1 GB memory. Okay, you can see entire resource, entire virtual machine, 3 CPUs, 3 GB memory, entire virtual machine is properly used by the application. There is no resource wastage in case of Docker. So like that, we have multiple reasons for the evolution of Docker. One is the dependency on the operating system of the applications. Actually, that's a different thing we are going to see anyway in the Docker sessions. So you need to understand how the Docker is evolved first, so that you can understand why we are using Docker and what is the reason why we are using Docker actually. So that is the evolution of Docker, because of the reasons that we have, because of the disadvantages that we have in the previous technologies. The Docker is evolved, and the Docker solves the problems with the previous technologies that we have. This is just an examples we have seen. Like that, many problems are there. Okay, something like that. Okay, any questions related to this things actually? Any questions you have, anyone has, please?
So Shiva,
Yeah.
so virtualization software, and so we install VirtualBox, that is a software, right?
Yes, any virtualization software, VMware, VirtualBox, or hypervisor, Hyper-V, anything.
On that, if we are installing any Linux or OS or Mac OS, operating system, so that is nothing but your
Virtual
CPU,
machines.
virtual machines.
Yes.
Okay, and we can customize regarding as per as the requirements, means one CPU, 1 GB, how much we require, right?
Yes, yes. We can customize as per the requirements. So for an example, I have taken this. Okay.
And the virtual software on the hood of operating system, we are installing virtual. And what is guest OS?
See, each and every virtual machine should also be having the operating system that is called guest operating system, that we call it as.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that guest OS, we are installing Docker.
Yes.
And on that Docker, we have different types of application, and each application would have one container.
Yeah. Each application will be running as one container. Yes, you are right. In case of Docker terminology, we'll call it as containers. Okay. In case of Docker only.
And the guest OS would be so right now my system have window. Okay, that is a physical server. Okay.
Yeah.
On we are installing virtual software. You are using
Yeah.
Mac. On that you are what the guest OS would be any Window or Linux or any.
Yes, any operating system. That will virtualization software will allows us to create any operating system.
Okay. On that we are installing Docker, and on that we are deploying the application, and we are creating that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone has any questions, please? Any others has?
And one regarding question, we heard, I have heard means about cloud computing. So cloud AWS must have some server in US, and we are through internet we are using right there. There must be also some physical server where we are deploying that, right?
Yes, there will be internally physical that the data centers of the AWS will be having physical servers. On that top of that, we are creating virtual servers from our AWS accounts. Yes, internally they have physical servers.
Okay.
So Shiva, so for each app you are assigning 1 CPU and 1 GB, right? So
Yeah.
So you mean that we can configure the hardware for each container?
Yes, you can hardware. You can configure the resources. I mean to say, not like you can configure the resources for each application. Yes, you are right. You can configure that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. See, if you are a Java developer, let me tell you one example. There is something called Xmax S and Smin. You are allocating some amount of resources to your application, right? In the same way, you can also allocate using Docker also, using this. You can allocate that. We are going to see in the course.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that's the thing. So that's a case of physical servers and virtual servers. Now, now we are going to I am going to show you how to create an AWS account and how to log into that and related things, how to create a virtual machine, how to give the security groups to that. So different things. Let me show you one by one. So let me go here and I'll go to, let me go back. So we have seen these physical servers. We have seen the disadvantage of physical servers, virtualization and cloud. And once again, these are virtualization architecture and these are the Docker we have seen just now. And this is a thing actually. No, that's the thing. Now let me go here and go to, yeah, now just go to aws.amazon.com. Someone put something in chat. Yeah, OS is equal to Windows servers, guest OS is equal to Linux. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, that's the thing. Now, click on sign into the console. Click on sign into the console. Okay, I have already signed in. Let's click on, let me sign out from this. Now, click on sign into the console now. Now, you will be finding something called create a new AWS account. Click on this. So once you click on the create a new AWS account, you will be landing to this page. Okay, you need to give the unique email address. You should not be used previously this one unique email address while for creating the AWS accounts. You need to give your unique email address and you need to give your account name. Any name you can give there. That will be shown in our account. So I don't have present a unique email address, so that I cannot show you now, because see, there will be 4 to 5 steps. I see that there will be 5 steps that will be asked for you. Actually, one step is important step. Out of that, actually, they'll ask for your bank account details, like card information, like they'll be debiting like 2 rupees from your account to, you know, to verify you whether you are the right person or not. And they will ask for they'll ask for your verification, whether it is like PAN card or driving license. You need to enter that number. It's not a security breach, for just it's for your verification purpose. We can trust Amazon people. Okay, so that's the 2 important steps I need to tell that. So just enter that information. Remaining things will be as simple as possible. Like it is as simple as creating your Facebook account or Insta account. That simple it is. Just go ahead and create it. There will be 5 steps. So just the important steps which I mentioned is the important, like bank account and the information about your PAN card or driving license number or different things that will ask. Only you can choose any one, PAN card or driving license. There will be different things. I have Aadhaar card, something like that. You can choose only one. Just give that information there, and then your account will be activated. Now, generally in the normal time, the people takes 24 hours. AWS people takes 24 hours in order to activate your account, but it's part of their official documentation. But they will be activating your account prior itself. Okay, they will be activating your account prior itself. You no need of waiting for them to activate actually. So that's the thing. Once your activation is completed, you go to click on to the sign into the existing account. Click on here. Now, there will be something called two users here, root user, IAM user. So click on this root user. You should not select IAM user as of now. Okay, we are not creating IAM users. Okay, so to click on root user, give your email address, where which email address you have registered your application, like your AWS account with. That email address should be given here, and go here, give your password. Okay, give your password. Do not share these credentials with anyone. Okay, so click on sign in. Okay, you will be landing to this page. Okay, you will be landing to this page. Actually, you need to regularly check the information about the billing. Actually, you can see here the billing information, cost and usage. Just check regularly. That will not cost you, but yeah, you should verify that regularly. Okay, so that you need to check actually. Now, once you logged into the machine, once you logged into the AWS account, actually go to the search box, search for EC2, click on this EC2 service. See, there are multiple services that is offered to us by the AWS people. So one of the service is called EC2. What is this EC2 service? Is called, like as we seen in the diagram, there will be multiple virtual machines right on the top of physical machines. This AWS EC2 service will help us to create multiple virtual machines actually. So see, click on this EC2. Okay, you can see instances. This, see, in case of AWS terminology, this virtual machines also called instances. Okay, EC2 machines or virtual machines or virtual servers, anything we can call it as. All the same actually. All the meanings is same actually. Click on this instances. Click on this instances. So there are no instances running as of now in my AWS account. Actually, in your AWS account also, there will be no instances, or the EC2 machines or the virtual machines running actually, because you created for the first time, right? So that will not be having any running AWS services or like servers actually. So once you see that, just verify there will be no virtual machines. Now, in the left hand menu, there will be something called network and security section. Under that network and security section, let me increase the font size so that it will be visible for you. No problem. Yeah, under that network and security section, you will be having something called key pairs. Okay, this is a key pair actually. So why this key pair is required? Why we need to create a key pair? We need to create a key pair in order to log into the virtual machine. Suppose this is a virtual machine. Let's think this is a virtual machine. Okay, we need to log in to the virtual machine, right? We need to log into the virtual machine. We need to go inside the virtual machine. So we need to create a key pair in order to log into the virtual machine. That is kind of a password or a secret in order to log into the virtual machine. You can also create a virtual machine without a key pair, but yeah, as a security purpose, just to create a key pair. How to create a key pair? Go to the key pair section here. Click on create a key pair. Key pair actually. Just give a key pair a name. Let me give JDK, Java, Docker, Kubernetes. So, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. So let's give the JDK name as JDK. Just do not modify anything. Let me decrease this. Okay, just click on key pair. Just click on create a key pair. Okay, just click on this. Okay, once you clicked on a create a key pair, it will ask us to download a particular file that is called password secret. Okay, so that is called PEM file. Okay, there will be something called token that will be there inside that PEM file. Just click on save. It will be downloaded to your local machine. Keep it in a safe place. Okay, just replace it. Okay. instances is equal to object, we can call it. Okay, it's not an object actually, it's a virtual machine. Instances, virtual machines, virtual servers, actually that's the thing. Okay, once you create a key pair, it will be asking us to download a PEM file. Just download that in your local machine and keep in a safe place, and go to instances, actually. Now yeah, in your case there will be no instances. Okay, my instances are terminated just before this class I have terminated. In your case there will be no instances actually. Now launch instance, click on launch instances here, click on launch instances, give instance a name. Instance means virtual server. Okay, just same actually. Give instance a name Docker, give instance a name Docker. Now click on operating system, guest operating system that we want to use, Ubuntu. We have seen right in the diagram, there will be a guest operating system on this. Okay, this is a guest operating system. So just select the operating system that you want to use. I want to select Ubuntu actually. So just do not modify anything, but because you need to fall under the free tier, you can see free tier eligible. You can see, just do not modify anything, free tier eligible. Just select a key pair that you got created. You can see once you create a key pair there in the previous section, that key pair will be reflected here. JDK will be reflected here. In your case also, that will be reflected here. Okay, click on this key pair. Okay, now that's a key pair. Now create a security group. In the network settings, there will be two options. One is create security group. Other one is select existing security group. Click on select an existing security group, and drop down list box will be given to us, and click on this drop down list box. Click on the default, like you will also having this one, so click on this default. Okay, so click on that. Now this configure storage, I want to give 10 GB of storage for my instance, for my virtual machine. Just I am configuring 10 GB of storage to my virtual machine actually. So like that I am giving. Now how many number of instances, how many number of virtual machines I want to launch is only one. I don't want to launch more than one virtual machine. So just click on, after doing all these settings, what are settings you did, give a name, select an operating system, and to select your key pair, and in the network settings select existing security group, and click on this drop down list box, select a security group, and the storage that you need to modify to 10. You can use 8 also, but I want to use 10. I don't want to face any problem in the future. Okay, that's the one. You can see free tier eligible customers can up to use 30 GB will be free, up to 30 GB will be free actually. So that's the one. Now launch instance, click on launch instance once you complete your settings. Okay, just click on instances. Now you can see one instance, one instance is going to be created. This is a Docker, just now we created. It's in pending state as of now. It's in a pending state as of now. Just let it come up. Okay, let it come up. It will take some 2 to 3 minutes in order to come up actually. Okay, until that time, let me fetch the Docker installation commands. 1 second. Yeah, this is that one. Where is that? Yeah, it is in running state now. It is in running state now. You can see it is in running state, and it should come something called 2x2 health checks passed in the status check actually. Let me refresh. Okay, now it is still initializing. Let it complete. Let it complete. You can filter by searching for running actually, so that only running instances will be shown. It's still initializing. Let's wait. Let's wait for it to completely initialize. Let's wait. Yeah, you can see now 2 by 2 health checks has been passed. You can see 2 by 2 health checks has been passed as of now. You should notice this. Now, how to go inside this virtual machine or VM or instance or virtual server or EC2 machine, all the names for this virtual, there are different names for this virtual machine. How to go to this? Just click on the checkbox of that virtual machine. Okay, click on the checkbox of the virtual machine. Click on connect. Click on connect, not modify anything, just click on connect. That's it. Okay, you will be logged in to that virtual machine or virtual server or instance or EC2 machine. So let it complete establishing connection. It is trying to establish a connection. Let it complete the connection establishment. Yeah, it has established a connection. Okay, you are inside the virtual machine now. Okay, let me go to root user sudo su hyphen. Let me click on this. Okay, these are something called Linux commands. No need of worrying. Just execute this sudo su hyphen. Let me clear the screen. And as of now, there is no Docker installed on my virtual machine or virtual server. You can see as part of diagram, until where we did, we have there is a guest operating system we have created, that's Ubuntu, and there is no Docker installed on this virtual machine. We are going to install Docker now. Okay, now let's go to commands. I have collected the commands for your easy purpose. Just execute this command, the Docker will be installed for you. Just execute one by one. This is updating packages. Let me copy this. Let it complete. Yeah, it got completed. Just install this one, certificates, and you need to install this one. Just it's just install one by one, something like this. Control C. Now go here, take the again update the packages because we have did some settings. Now this one, policy. No need offering, this is just an installation. You can, so just install the Docker. It's trying to install the Docker. Now you can see we have installed Docker on top of this guest operating system inside that virtual machine or the EC2 instance. Actually, the Docker is installed now. You can see Docker. You can run Docker commands. Actually, you can see Docker container. We are going to see this command. No need of worrying. Just I'm executing some commands. You can see the Docker commands were being executed as part of our virtual machine. Actually, so is that clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear? Instance creation, connecting to the instance, and what are the different settings that will be using to, in order to create an instance and yeah, log into that instance. Is that clear for everyone? Any questions anyone has, please?
So what is the guest OS here?
See, guest OS is the operating system. Each virtual machine should have some operating system in order to perform the actions. That is just an operating system. Actually, that's an operating system. We can use multiple operating system as a guest OS. Okay, Ubuntu, Windows, or any operating system that you can use.
Okay, right now, right now you created a VDI, virtual machine, and the virtual machine operating system is Ubuntu. Okay.
Yeah.
As per the picture, we see the OS, the first layer, right? The first level of box is where Ubuntu.
This operating system, you mean the down?
Yeah. Yes.
This is installed by that physical the AWS people itself. We have no idea what operating system they might be using at this place, because we are no choice of selecting that operating system. It's their responsibility of doing that. Okay.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions, please? See, if anyone are new today, yeah.
Shiva, just you told given some commands which has been installed on virtual. So that will you share in a drive after this?
Sure. That will be shared as part of Drive. No problem with that. Everything will be shared as part of Drive, which we have discussed.
Okay. And one thing regarding this, actually I don't know much about the Docker part. Means Docker is basically deploy application, or what are the roles regarding we have installed, means we directly started by Docker, we didn't go to Jenkins. Is there is something interrelation, we have to first install Docker only?
Yes, you need to first do the Docker itself, because you see all the activities that we are going to do in case of Docker, all the manual activities using Docker commands, pulling the images, pushing the images, and creating containers, and doing all the activities, creating volumes, networking. So all the things which we are going to do with the Docker, that will be automated with Jenkins. First, you need to know to do with Docker in order to do with Jenkins. Okay, that is why you need to first learn Docker before learning Jenkins. Okay, so what are the different things that we do with Kubernetes also? That will be automated with Jenkins actually. So first you need to know these technologies, Docker and Kubernetes, so that you will be able to automate the things which we are going to do with Docker and Kubernetes with Jenkins pipelines. So like that, that is why I have decided to complete the Docker and Kubernetes first before the Jenkins actually.
And one thing, just the same, you install the Docker in the virtual machine. We have created one EC2 instance.
Yeah.
The same you will install like Jenkins on that EC2 instance, right?
Yes, you are right. We are going to install Jenkins like that only in the EC2 machine.
And when you are giving the key pair, I saw that there is two, PPK and PE, something PEM.
PPK and P, yes. See, there are different ways of connecting to the virtual machine. Someone uses something called putty, something called, who are using the Windows machines. In order to connect to the virtual machines, they are using something called putty. That is a tool in order to connect to the virtual machine actually. In that case, you require PPK file. Okay, so we are not using the putty tool in order to connect to the virtual machine. That is why we downloaded the PEM file and we connected to the virtual machine actually. That is a different files based depending on the tools that you need to download that files actually.
And now you have connected direct, means you have connect EC2 instance. And now suppose we need to connect from our laptop. How we supposed to connect that?
See, if you want to connect from your laptop, if your laptop is a Windows machine, you need to download putty and you need to connect to the virtual machine which is present in the cloud.
This command line, there is something
Yes, some laptops support this. If you go here, when you click on connect, go to SSH client, there will be something called, you need to follow these instructions. Open SSH client. Let me connect my EC2 machine from my local machine. Let me show you. Okay, this is my local machine. Let me clear the screen. Okay, CD, let me go here, ls cd downloads. See, I have shown the common way for everyone where you can connect from the browser. That's a common way for everyone who are using Windows, Linux, or any operating system. That's a common way. That is why I have shown that one, because everyone should be able to connect without facing any problem. Let me copy this chmod. Let me put it here, chmod, that one, and let me go here. Okay, let me copy this example. Okay, let me go here. Let me put it this one. Now I have connected to my virtual machine from my local. Just wait. Yeah, you can see I have connected to my virtual machine from my local. Let me clear the screen. Docker container ls. Okay, you can see permission denied. So that, okay, sudo su hyphen, okay, docker container ls, you can see Docker, you can run. So that like that you can connect from your local machine also. But this is my Mac operating system, that is why I'm using this one. But in case of Windows, you might be using the PowerShell or the PuTTY client, so that in order to connect to your operating virtual machine actually. So something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions, please? See, if anyone are new today, okay, there is a YouTube, there is a yesterday's link, yesterday's recording got uploaded to YouTube. Please go through that. We have seen different technology, different concepts that we are going to see as part of this course, and what are the different things we will be seeing as part of the course, like projects and the concepts of related particular technology, whether it's Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. So all the things we have seen, please go and watch their recording. And in the next class, what we are going to see is about the use cases, Docker commands we are going to see, Docker architecture we are going to see, different components that are involved in the Docker, and how the components interacts with each other. We are going to see in a diagrammatic and a practical manner, and we are moving further, something like that. So that's from tomorrow class we are going to do. That's it for today. Before going today, please go ahead and practice these things. Please create your AWS accounts and install the virtual machines and the Docker install Docker in that, and something like that. And one more my responsible to say is, please go ahead and register for the course, and that's it. Anyone have any questions, you can ask, or if not, we will meet tomorrow at the same time, 10:30. And one more thing I want to also say, in the future, these classes will be shifted to 9:30 a.m. morning. That means from Monday itself.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you,
Thank you. Thanks for joining. Thank you. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.